Night after night. Chapter 1, Virginity Lost. Virginity Lost. The luxurious, retro presidential suite was bathed in romantic, yellow light. A tall, handsome man was lying in bed, his eyes closed, his breathing ragged. Suddenly, the door was opened, and a petite human was pushed inside. A moment later, someone locked the door from outside. Shiyu had just found her bearings when the man went up to her and held her in his arms. Then he tossed her onto the expensive bed. She moved backward on reflex, her teary eyes filled with fear. "Who are you?" Her adoptive mom called her an hour ago to tell her to go for an interview for a supporting actress for a TV drama. The venue was at Siegfried Royal Hotel. The moment she came in, a group of burly men in black snatched her and pushed her inside. The man didn't answer her. All he did was lean forward and cup her chin, as if he had locked onto his prey. Shiyu moved backward in a hurry while trying her best to push his hand back. Trembling, she said, "Sorry. I must have gotten into the wrong room. I'll leave right away." However, the man had an iron grip on her. No matter how she tried, the woman couldn't move an inch. As the light was dim, and the man was facing her, Shiyu couldn't see how he looked, though the woman could feel his hot breath on her skin. Something exploded in her mind. Then she quavered and struggled. "No. Let me go. Let me go." The man's gaze darkened. Then he grabbed her arm before pulling it over her head. A moment later, he leaned forward. Shiyu suddenly woke up late at night. The strong arm around her waist and the mess of a bed told her what happened just now wasn't a dream. The woman bit her lips, and a drop of tear flowed down her cheek. A moment later, she pushed the man's arm away from her and pulled the blanket down before going down the bed. Her body felt as if it had been hit by a road roller, for her legs were jelly, and she felt painful. Shiyu took the scattered clothes and wore it despite the pain. Without even looking at the sleeping man, the woman ran out without looking back. It was drizzling outside when Shiyu came back to her foster family's home. Feeling weak, quietly, she opened the door, but was shocked at what she saw. The living room's lights were on, while her foster family and her boyfriend, Qian, were sitting there silently. The air had a somber feel to it. When they saw her coming back, her sister, Shan, rushed up to her. When she saw Shiyu's neck was filled with hickeys, as well as her messy clothes, the woman smiled loudly. She said, "I knew this little B*TCH had hooked up with someone." Shiyu's mind went blank. Then she looked at her foster mom, Young Yalan, dumbly. "Mom, you called me," before she could finish. Young Yalan suddenly dashed towards her and gave her a slap. Slap. Shiyu didn't manage to dodge it in time, so the slap landed squarely on her face. A moment later, her face swelled up. Young Yalan had an angry look in her eyes. Then she raised her voice. "I knew I shouldn't have saved you back then. I should have let you die. It's loads better than you being a slut and embarrassing our family." Mujui quickly went to defend Shiyu. He felt sad for his foster daughter, so he scolded Young Yalan. "You shouldn't have slapped her before finding out what happened. Do you even need to ask? Dad, we aren't blind, so we can see what she did. You know." Shan fanned the flames, jealous about her dad being protective of Shiyu. "Right, Anne." Shiyu looked up, her teary eyes wide. She looked at the quiet Qian in despair. Everything suddenly became quiet. Then Qian slowly went up to her, his expression dark. The usually loving gaze lost all its warmth now as he looked at her. "Where did you go this afternoon, Shiyu?" Shiyu's lips were trembling, but she couldn't say anything. "I told you, Anne. She wanted to get a role in a TV drama, so she went to sleep with the deputy director. That Mr. Shen is a fat and ugly man who loved to use these fame-loving undergrads as his playthings." Mu Shanshan quickly said something when she noticed Mu Shiyu wasn't saying anything. I am asking Shiyu. Not you. I will believe whatever she says. Qian said coldly, not even looking at her. Mu Shanshan felt angry and awkward. Then she glared at Mu Shiyu. How can a B***starred like her be so lucky to have a boyfriend like Qian? Mu Shiyu's eyes teared up as she faced her beloved. No matter if she was set up. It was a fact that she had betrayed Qian. The woman started to cry. Then she shook her head. I am sorry. I am sorry. Her voice broke. Qian stumbled backward. Then he glanced at Mu Shiyu coldly. As if he wanted to kill her. The man sneered before leaving the Mu residence. I'll send Qian off. Mu Shanshan went up quickly after leaving that message. Mu Shiyu smiled palely when she saw Mu Shanshan tidying her hair as she left. Then she mumbled. So this is why you guys set me up. She should have known about this when she saw the jealousy in Mu Shanshan's eyes and how explicitly she flirted with Qian whenever he showed up. However, she was indebted to the Mu family for adopting her since she was a kid. So Mu Shiyu chose to keep quiet about many things so Mr. Mu wouldn't be sad. However, she didn't expect to be set up right before her engagement with Qian. Something was odd though. Mu Shanshan said that the guy she slept with was Deputy Director Shen. But that guy was fat and ugly. And Mu Shiyu knew for a fact that the man that slept with her was tall and muscular. Even though she didn't see his face. Young Yalan's expression changed when she heard what Mu Shiyu said. So she wanted to give that young lady another slap. What are you talking about? However, Mr. Mu grabbed her hand and shoved her back. Angrily, he said, that's enough. We're in a big enough mess now. Shiyu is our daughter. The most important thing now is to find out what had happened. He then turned to Mu Shiyu. What happened? Shiyushi. Was it really like what Shanshan said? Mu Jui didn't want to believe it. Mu Shiyu's face was drained of all color. She looked at young Yalan coldly before rushing upstairs and going into the bathroom. Welcome to download Joyread app to read more chapters of Night After Night novel online.